Here's the news for this evening. Guyana steps up plans to assist victims of Hurricane Irma. Gunmen break through ready-mix concrete to cart off safe. Betterville acting residents bemoan shoddy roadworks. BUXTON Group brings suicide prevention into focus. In the region, Hurricane Irma's aftermath creating challenges. And internationally, Afghanistan braces for more civilian deaths.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. Stakeholders from the government, opposition, and civil society met today to formalize a plan of action to assist thousands affected by Hurricane Irma. The Category 5 storm claimed over 20 lives, flattened buildings and properties in some Caribbean islands. Wendell Jeffrey reports.
Members of the government, the opposition, the private sector, civil society, and the diplomatic corps joined other stakeholders to hammer out an immediate plan of action to assist persons affected by Hurricane Irma. It was concluded that Guyana stands ready to help the devastated Caribbean in any way possible.
Guyana is sending a strong signal beyond partisan line, beyond social interests or social agendas, that the Caribbean is not alone.
That was Prime Minister and Forest Vice President Moses Nagamutu. He is also heading up the Relief Committee for the government. The Prime Minister was today reassuring the world that Guyana has both the political and civic will to provide relief to the suffering currently being experienced by our Caribbean neighbors.
In terms of UNDP, there are a few things I could share right away. UNDP has deployed a crisis response expert to Haiti and Jamaica. 2 experts are on their way to Cuba. There are a few lined up for Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos.
The UN Deputy Representative, Ms. Shabnan Malik, said that several of the UN agencies have either deployed to the disaster areas or they are on standby to be deployed.
Through the International Federation of Red Cross, we already have teams on the ground doing those reconnaissance. For your questions in terms of the money, the economy of Antigua, I'm just going to give you one example. The economy of Antigua is not that stable. You can still use the economy to build back the economy with that money. So Barbuda is totally destroyed.
That was Red Cross representative, and he was speaking about the long-term plan needed to rebuild the economies of the country that have been affected by the hurricanes. Patricia Gittins, the child protection specialist for the UN, said that about 5,000 children have been displaced and they are interested in providing shelter, water, medicine, and also psychosocial assistance.
As far as we know, at least 5,000 children have been affected, and the priority areas remain shelter, of course, water, medicine, and we are supporting a psychosocial support program called Return to Happiness. But please.
President of the Guyana Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Deodat Indar, noted that there might be a need to evacuate Guyanese from at least one of the islands because of security reasons.
To be exact, I just want to concentrate a little attention on that particular island. At 2 o'clock yesterday, there was a report that says that they have gangs with machetes and guns robbing people, and there is some form of rape places on the border of a civil war.
Okay, well, if you want a summary of donations, I can give you a summary of donations. Yeah, those things can be sent to us after. But Colonel, could we begin our wrap up by dealing with the way forward? You said you need a committee to be formed. Well, I would like the private sector to submit names to you after this meeting.
That was Kubilal Ramsarup, the director of the Civil Defense Commission. Businessman Jerry Gavaya suggested that through a partnership, Guyanese can travel to the affected area and provide first-hand information of what has happened and what are the needs.
Where the fuel companies will contribute to fuel to the planes, the pilots will fly free, that type of thing. And so we make that arrangement, and we put together a team to go to have an on-the-ground look.
Former Minister Irfan Ali, representing the opposition PPPC, said that his party is fully on board with all the plans that have been discussed and they stand ready and willing to assist in any way.
The opposition is supportive of all and every effort to help these island states. This is not new for Guyana. We have had very good experiences helping our brothers and sisters in the region. Grenada was a great example. We need to expand the reach of what is needed beyond this room into the wider society. And as Ramesh said, we need to activate a smaller cell that will coordinate that national effort to help out.
Major Kester Craig, Deputy Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, did a comprehensive presentation in which he noted, among other things, the extent of the damages and the assistance needed.
After having some consultation with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, despite those relief items that are required, there's going to be a challenge, especially coming from Guyana, to get those relief supplies to those locations, because the time it will take maybe the ship to get there will be far long after the impact. So even though they require relief supplies, the preference of contribution is monetary contribution.
The Guyana government has set aside an initial $50,000 US for the relief efforts.
Informed that a commitment was made for $50,000 US, equivalent of $10 million Guyana dollars.
When asked if that amount is likely to increase, the Prime Minister said that it depends on the needs. But, he concluded, there are other in-kind contributions that are being made.
So all the assistance can't be in money form. For example, we were talking just now about sending personnel in GT&T, personnel from GPL to help with reconstruction of electrical system, etc. People to help in building schools and so on, building roads and bridges. So you have a technical component that you can't attach money to. So it's not a money thing right now. It is really...
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Ready Mix Concrete Limited was left counting their losses after gunmen torched and sledgehammered their way into the building to cart off a vault. Esther Sobers visited the company and filed this report.
Today we're hearing echoes on the east bank of Damawara, where 3 gunmen robbed the Ready Mix factory early Sunday morning. Senior officials of the company disclosed that the perpetrators used a torch and sledgehammer to break the vault, which they carted up with an undisclosed amount of cash. The officials stated that the Safeway, a contracted security firm, responded promptly to an alarm from the building. Additionally, security personnel confronted the suspect and an exchange of gunfire erupted. However, the gunmen managed to flee the scene. In the execution of the robbery, the gunmen pounced on 2 watchmen who are said to be in their late 70s. It was said that the gunmen gained access to the compound through a wall on the western side of the building. A supervisor at the company said the company has fallen prey to robberies in the past and other businesses within the recent weeks were also robbed. He strongly believes that the perpetrators are men from the agricultural residents and encouraged the police to be more vigilant in the area. The police are currently viewing the surveillance footage from the company. Now, back to you, George.
Thanks, Esther. On this day in 2001, nearly 3,000 people died after hijackers crashed planes into New York City's World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. More than 20 Guyanese were counted among the dead. Today, U.S. President Donald Trump presided over his first 9/11 commemoration in office, marking the 16th anniversary of the attacks. Thousands gathered throughout the U.S. to mark the deadliest attack on U.S. soil. The names of the 3,000 killed were read aloud at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City, as bells rang out in memory of the dead. Each year on the anniversary, 2 light beams illuminate the sky in place of the 2 towers. Coming up on Headline News after the break, BUXTON Group sheds light on suicide, and Bedford-Washington residents make special appeal. Stay with us.
John Lewis Styles proudly introduces Everest Bags, a complete and affordable line especially suited for back to school. Lunch bags from $3,500, backpacks from $4,500, pulley backpacks from $10,995. Also available are messenger bags, computer bags, waist pouches, duffel bags, gym bags, and even camping bags, all for the same price or less than buying online. And it's already here on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
On Sunday, September 10, 2017, the Central Housing and Planning Authority is inviting residents of A and B Fields, Sophia, to a public consultation at the Sophia Primary School. The consultation will address the reformulation of the road network upgrade and expansion program. The project, which will be undertaken through a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, entails road upgrades with streetlights and sidewalks, upgrades to playgrounds and community buildings, and subsidies for construction of core houses and home improvements. Starting time 16 hours.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home. We also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Residents of Bedford-Washington are seeking to have their concerns addressed regarding the deplorable state of their roads. According to residents, repair work paid by taxpayers and carried out by contractors were of substandard. Here's more. Residents of Bedford-Washington are complaining to authorities over the state of their roads. One Market Street resident requests that the government addresses their concerns. They are accusing the contractor of shoddy work as the roads were resurfaced less than 2 years ago. Additionally, the contractor did not use asphalt, but rather a weaker, less durable material that rapidly deteriorated during the past rainy season. When it rains, the large potholes fill with water and mud that cannot be drained, as the road is now completely level with the drains. They are willing to fix the roads themselves, but lack the resources to do so. The contractor could not be reached for comment. Every year, on the 10th of September, the world pauses to focus on the plight of suicides. Guyana has been plagued with this scourge for many years. Up to a few months ago, we were the leading country per capita in the world for suicide-related deaths. Last evening, BUXTON youths staged an event to commemorate annual Suicide Prevention Day and to focus on the national realities of suicide. Wendell Jeffrey was there and filed this report.
The Tipperary Hall in Buxton came alive last night as the Buxton Arts Theatre hosted their annual Suicide Prevention Day awareness concert and lecture. The suicide numbers in Guyana have dropped. However, we are still the country with the second highest death from suicides in the world, with Korea as the #1 country. Amidst the fun and laughter, there were messages which challenged the audience and provided tips on how to prevent others from committing suicide and how to approach their own personal depression. Mr. Obo Usonbi brought a message on behalf of the Minister of Health. He reminded those present of the need to focus on life. He reminded also that suicide is the end of everything that went before it, and nothing gets solved by suicide.
Suicide is the very end of everything that went before it. Even though we know it's a traumatic and terrible story to hear and see and to feel if it's a loved one or a friend, for me, it is better to talk about life, because if life is where it should be, then we would not need to talk about suicide.
Dr. William Addo-Crow from PAHO WHO, in his presentation, provided some brief but startling statistics. He said that among the Christian community, Seventh-day Adventists and Presbyterians are the least likely to commit suicide. He then noted that those identifying as Pentecostals are listed as the most likely to take their own lives.
Even amongst Christians, we realize that Seventh-day Adventists and the Presbyterians are the least in terms of committing suicide. The highest, and I was surprised, the highest happened to be Pentecostal. Why that happens, we don't know.
He commented also that while blacks and Indians in Guyana attempt suicide at the same rate, Indians are 2 or 3 times more successful in their attempts.
When you look at the ethnicity, Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese attempt suicide at the same rate, almost 30% each way. However, if you look at those who complete, who finish killing themselves, is about least in some regions it's even 3-1. That more Indo-Guyanese kill themselves, even though Indo-Guyanese and Afro-Guyanese all attempts at the same rate.
For the night, there was drama.
A dream I wish was my reality. For all, it's like a prison for me. Why can't they be loving? Why can't they see that I'm just an innocent child who needs to be free? Free from abuse. Free to be me. Free to grow up as a child I should be. Let me live, Mama.
They were singing.
Give us space so we'll be safe.
Jesus, help me to see that I'm not just some wandering soul that can be seen and can be known. Yes, you gotta believe. Jesus, help me to see that I am someone worth dying for.
There were also dance and poetry.
And it answered so sweetly. He said,
"Hey baby, yeah, I miss you, but yo, I gonna see you at 2 o'clock, right?"
yes, but I'm pregnant.
You what? Nah, I cannot tie you up. I got picked up from your later.
Pastor Anderson gave a stirring message on the theme, the fullness of life.
Your mission is to go out into BUXTON and the wider community and Guyana and let somebody know that they were created by God Almighty and upon that they are valuable. Let them know that they have a special purpose built to shine.
The theme for the night's activity was, I Hope You Dance. The evening ended with a candlelight ceremony and a prayer of commitment. The motto for the evening was, suicide is not an option. For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The debate on whether female security guards should be allowed to work at night continues. Government has already dismissed the idea of preventing single-parent women from working at nights. We have found through our own investigations that female security officers have become the target of bandits in one Georgetown community. Last night, a police officer thwarted the robbery of a female security guard in Queenstown. At about 8:30, the traumatized guard, who requested to not have her identity disclosed, was walking along New Market Street when she was accosted by an unarmed thief on a CG motorcycle. The man attempted to snatch the woman's purse, but she fought back. A police officer who was standing guard at a nearby home observed the struggle, drew his weapon, and demanded the perpetrator to stop. The bandit then dropped the purse and escaped on his motorcycle. One of the woman's colleagues bemoaned the attempted robbery. According to her, it was the second robbery of a female security guard in Queenstown for the month. The incident occurred at a time when there is huge public debate on whether some female security guards should be allowed to work at nights. The government recently issued a statement assuring that it was not in support of a policy that restricts single-parent female security guards from working at nights. Several persons were arrested on Sunday following the discovery of 34 kilograms of marijuana in an uncovered bulk parcel split between 2 barrels and 2 boxes, according to the Customs Anti-Narcotics Agency. The Anti-Drug Department of the Ministry of Public Security noted that the drugs were found at a house on the corner of Camp and Norton Street, just steps away from the Georgetown prison. Don't go away. Still ahead, we'll take a look at how Hurricane Irma has affected one Caribbean country. Stay with us. ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
On Sunday, September 10, 2017, the Central Housing and Planning Authority is inviting residents of A and B Fields, Sophia, to a public consultation at the Sophia Primary School. The consultation will address the reformulation of the road network upgrade and expansion program. The project, which will be undertaken through a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, entails road upgrades with streetlights and sidewalks, upgrades to playgrounds and community buildings, and subsidies for construction of core houses and home improvements. Starting time 16 hours.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
John Lewis Styles proudly introduces Everest Bags, a complete and affordable line especially suited for back to school. Lunch bags from $3,500, backpacks from $4,500, pulley backpacks from $10,995. Also available are messenger bags, computer bags, waist pouches, duffel bags, gym bags, and even camping bags, all for the same price or less than buying online. And it's already here on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Welcome back. Guyanese and storm-ravaged Caribbean countries have asked the government for help, and discussions are underway to determine what form that support will take. One of the nations severely hit is the British Virgin Islands, where at least 5 people have died. The BBC's Laura Bicker reports on the devastation on the island of Tortola.
The British Virgin Islands look like they've been hit by the blast wave of a bomb. On the biggest island of Tortola, houses have been ripped apart and contents scattered for miles. An over 20-foot wave surge crushed boats, beaching them among the rubble.
It started off with wind.
Oren Glasgow was at home as Irma hit.
This section of my mom's room, the roof came off. Then my bedroom came off. We went to the living room. Glass started to burst. We had all of this boarded up.
You've lost everything.
Everything.
People talk about the winds that came through here as if they were alive, as if it come from another world. And now 5 days after the hurricane struck, they're in desperate need of food, of shelter and clean water. Others are just simply desperate to leave. The shock of seeing this terrifying force of nature is overwhelming. Some are trying to fly home to relatives in the UK. The Masson family made it to this shelter after neighbours with machetes hacked through debris to help them hike from their damaged home.
We don't know what planes are going or when they're going. Literally this morning was the first time we'd really had any news at all of what was happening.
Some residents have criticised the UK government's response to this crisis as pathetic and slow. There are also reports of looting across the island as many are desperate for basic supplies. There are large queues for food and for petrol. Help has now arrived. The British military have brought aid and are already re-establishing order. They're working on a plan to try to restore power and water. One woman told me she wept with relief as she saw the plane land. Hurricane Irma's trail of destruction is vast, and yet the Caribbean spirit prevails. As our team walked the streets, so many people told us the same message. They are simply grateful to be alive. Laura Bicker, BBC News, Tortola.
And internationally, at least 28 civilians were reportedly killed and 16 injured in U.S. airstrikes in Afghanistan's Herat and Logar provinces. According to the UN's assistance mission, over 1,600 civilians were killed and nearly 3,600 injured in air raids. Here's more from RT.
At least 28 civilians were reportedly killed and 16 injured in U.S. airstrikes in Afghanistan's Herat and Logar provinces. Afghan villagers have since returned to what's left of their homes.
When the Afghan and US forces started the battle against ISIL, everything was destroyed. People were living in the ruins.
We fled when the fighting started and came back when it was over, to find our homes reduced to rubble.
The coalition has acknowledged that so far this year, over 700 civilians killed and nearly 1,500 injured in air raids. According to the UN's assistance mission, the number of civilian casualties due to strikes has increased by 43% compared with 2016. The figures were released after Trump's announcement of expanding the US presence in Afghanistan. Previously, he had been rather critical about the Afghan military campaign.
We will also expand authority for American armed forces to target the terrorist and criminal networks. Afghanistan is a total and complete disaster. Let's get with it. Get out of Afghanistan.
President Trump, since he has no clue of foreign policy, of the ground situation in Afghanistan, nor is he interested in what harm he is going to cause to his own troops as well as to civilians in Afghanistan, he has decided to send in at least 4,000 more troops and also increase in the air attacks, which is causing civilian casualties, which is going to isolate America from the average Afghanis. Earlier, only the Taliban were opposed to USA and to President Trump. Now the average Afghan is going to hate America for what it is doing to the common people, and most of the attacks which have recently been carried out, it is the women and children that have been targeted, and not even the men, and not a single Taliban has been hurt in those. So it is poor intelligence, poor planning, poor strategy, and a heartless conduct of a futile war.
And now for the weather forecast. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 on Facebook, YouTube, and ch2headlinenews.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.